Right. So what I did was during the lunch break, I restarted my whole machine. Is that Memonde coming back? Did you bring us some? Did you bring us some ostrich tail? Right. So if you see what happened here, and I'm going to try and do it again for the last time. Do you see the word guide here? If I double click here, Mem's Poo has gone to enjoy ostrich tail now with Mem Monde, because Mem Monde came back with ostrich tail. I double click now and I'm hoping it will open. So the word guide was the one I pasted here specially, right? Now I'm waiting for it to pop up on my screen. And what I was illustrating before we went to break is I want to change it on the Word document here, and I want it to update on that spreadsheet. Okay, because that spreadsheet is reading from here. So do you see at the bottom it says Word is saving MS Excel?
Yes.
So it should update that spreadsheet, and then I close here and wish me luck. That's what I wanted to update, right? So I'm going to save this and I'm going to close it. And if do you remember the permit and enable that we did earlier? I also did that on my machine again, just whilst I was waiting for you guys to come back. Where is refresh? That guide must now have changed to my name. That guide must have now changed to my name. So let's open the spreadsheet again. Guys, you must wish me luck. When it opens, it must update and it must have my name on it. Unfortunately, it opens on my side and I'm going to click, or let me do this. I'm going to share my other screen because it opens on the primary screen here. And I can't share all screens, unfortunately. I can only share one. The people who develop Teams must get to a point. Can you see my screen now, colleagues?
Yes, sir.
So the guide is still there. I'm hoping after I click update, it will update that guide to my name. Mahalai, 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 Mahalai. Work with me, Excel, work with me. Excel, voodoo. Voila. Magic, magic. It's saying it's doing something. I'm crossing my fingers. MSP, you're not crossing your fingers. You're laughing at me.
I say it's fine so that if it doesn't happen on our assessment, you don't mark it wrong.
This is getting personal very quickly.
So that you know that we are the same struggle.
It's just become personal very quickly. It did not happen. I'm not happy. I am not happy. Okay, so I will have to close everything again for it to work. I don't like that about Excel. I'm just waiting for it to allow me to click. For now, it looks like I'm not able to click. It's still updating perhaps. Oh, there is an error message finally. Let's see what the error message says. And most of the time I ignore these error messages and I just close everything and reopen it again. If it wasn't for the fact that I've been very naughty all day, I would laugh and say, see on my Apple machine, but I'm not going to say it. This thing doesn't happen on my Apple machine. The one that I bought for 15,000 per month and paid for 3 years, 15,000 per month. But I can't say that because then today I've just been a problem person the whole day. So I'm waiting for this dialogue to. I can't read, colleagues. Maybe you are able to read what's on this dialog box. Is it showing on your screen? Oh, do you see the issues that are here? Do you remember we put in protection before we went for lunch? Now I'm getting to see this. Do you see the message, colleagues? Mem Paski Paski? Mem Spiwe? Mem Refilwe? Now I'm left alone again. Oh no. When is Women's Day? I want to buy all of you chocolate. When is Women's Day?
Women's Day is on the 20th of September.
Oh, when I say let's look at work, there is no one. But when I say Women's Day and chocolate, you unmute, Mem Spiwe.
I said I was disconnected. I just came back.
Okay. Do you see the
I heard
message
that
I'm seeing
chocolate
on my
too, sir.
screen?
I heard that very clearly. I just heard chocolate. So it's like I'm all ears.
Welcome back, Miss Peach. I was asking if you can see this message on my screen, Miss Peach.
Let me just enlarge on this,
Cell
sir.
auto.
This thing is way too small.
Okay. If you can zoom in
The
from your
cell or
side,
chart. Can I read it, sir?
please do, ma'am.
The cell or chart you're trying to change is on a protected sheet. To make a change, unprotect the sheet. You might be requested to enter a password.
Okay. Do you remember what we did before we left, Ma'am Spiwe? How did we protect the sheet?
Yes. You went to, I can't remember, but you went to something.
Look at my screen.
Yes. Then you went to protect sheet or something like that.
Okay. So basically, my change didn't take effect because I'd protected my sheet before we went out. So I'm going to try and remove the change now, unprotect the sheet, and see if that works.
Remote protection.
No protection, ma'am, at all. That's what I'm removing here. So I'm removing the protection. I'm removing Alice here. Let me see if that has worked. Going to select protect sheet again. And I'm going to say, no, I don't want to protect the sheet. But the problem is when I say I want to unprotect, it sort of removes. Let me click. Which cell did we protect? I think it was this cell. So I can't select this sheet. Oh, lo. Now I have to start all over again. Oh, but I think it's worked now. Perfect. So I've unprotected my sheet now. Do you see? So I can select on my sheet. It was not allowing me to change that. So now I'm going to save. And I'm going to close my spreadsheet. And I'm going to hope that my changes will take effect. It must update. Where is my directory with all the work? And I'm going to refresh in that directory. Sorry, unfortunately, it's sitting in another screen again. But I'm going to double click here. Excel is opening. Aha, that's the question I want you to see. And fingers crossed, it must update and I must see my name on the screen. And now I know, Miss Beach, to have your attention, I must talk about chocolate.
I heard that, sir.
Well, exactly. So I think
Something
each
about
time I
chocolate.
need my ladies in class, I need to say chocolate. Then everyone will be here.
All attention. It's a magic word, sir.
I have figured it out. Ma'am Spiwe, just say to Ma'am Monde, I'm going to buy a chocolate very quickly.
I will as soon as she comes back, so she's not back yet.
Let me send a WhatsApp and say, Ma'am Monde, chocolate is being distributed in class. Okay, so the update did not happen. So I'm going to go back to my Word document and make the update because the protection was done before. I'm thinking that could also impact me, right? So I'm going to open my Word document and make the change again, all over again. And by the way, these emotions and these waves are what you've got to battle with and figure out with Excel, right? It does not come, or let me put it like that and see if that works for me. And that's what I've put in on my document. Do you see there? So now I've changed it again. Can you see, colleagues? Chocolate. Now refresh here and then go back to my spreadsheet. Again, it must give me the option to update. Fingers crossed. Uh-oh, my hyperlink is no longer there. Let me see. It is there. Okay, it's looking for the link. I'm seeing it in the formula. But when I pointed here, it did not show to be there. So I have double clicked. I think I've removed my hyperlink with the protection and not protecting it. Okay, so I'm going to start afresh for the sake of peace. Save. And go back, and this will benefit colleagues that did not see how we did this, right? So I'm going to open my Word document and fetch my English terms again. I'm taking that word and I'm pasting it in my spreadsheet. I want to put it there and I want to select paste special. And I want to create a link to Microsoft Word. I'm going to select that object and I'm going to click OK. Yes, ma'am.
There's a step there that I didn't connect. We pasted the H. What did you select then?
Okay, so after pasting the H, I selected paste special.
Okay, so you went up there to paste and then space special. Okay.
Yes, and then I made the selection you saw there, and then it links it to my Word document, which is on the other side. And it works instantly this time around. Did you see that?
How does that work, sir?
And I save. That's exactly the debate of the day today. That's what we've been fighting with today, ma'am. So basically, what we are doing here is you select the paste and you're linking this to a Word document, paste special. And unfortunately now, because that I didn't copy it just now, it's not able to create the link. But then you select paste link. And what it does is it inserts this particular link for you. And when you double click on this, it opens the Word document that you linked it with. Voila.
Can we jump to my screen, sir, and I try that?
Before we do that, ma'am, I want to change this to, I want to change this to Andretta and save. The last bit I wanted to confirm works was the update on the Excel spreadsheet. So it says here it's saving it. And I'm hoping it will update on this side and it must give me Andretta. I'm going to close this. But what happens with Excel and the interclosing and the changing and whatnot, it doesn't update. That's my beef with my machine currently. And that's why I say I want to move to my other machine, which I don't have, by the way. So I'm going to select update on this screen. Where is my mouse? And the update should then reflect here. So if it works perfectly, this must be, what did we change it to? I lost my ladies now in class. I've lost you ladies now.
We change it to Andretta, sir.
Ah, okay. So I didn't lose you. I'm waiting for the update to occur, but it doesn't look like it worked. I'm not happy with that because now when I click here, this H should have automatically updated and I need to check those file options again that I made Mem Monde check before she left. So currently what it's basically telling me is it's no longer linked to that document, and I don't like that's not being linked. So I've got to check my file. And again,
so do you have to close the file first, perhaps, before
those
it'll
are the
update it and
emotions.
reopen?
Yeah. The belief that I have is I should be able to do that with a simple save, right? But because of these options that I'm now heading to, consistently hindering, because it's a security aspect of things, right? And I hope you are seeing where I'm quickly dashing to. So this enablement that we did with Memmonde, do you see there? Enable connections, automatic updates, enable all linked data types. So, excuse me, in terms of it being recommended, it's actually a security risk, right? But now I'm seeing that I've got open links here. Let me see, protected view. I don't want to enable anything. This is the other area where I disabled protection. So I wanted to check, make sure all of these areas. Maybe the other thing, I need to add a new location here as that directory. Let me see if I can do that. So some of these things are sort of advanced, but I want to try them quickly. And I'm spending too much time on this thing, actually. I think I'm spending too much time on this thing. Okay, let me add that there and click OK. And then click OK. Hey, have I selected it? Videos, live liver X. I'm happy with that directory. And then click. I want to trust it. I think it's allowed on my network. Yes, I want to click OK. So now I am hoping with those changes being active, my changes will take effect nicely. Why is there an H there? Where is that H taking us? Workbook. All of these are the hyperlinks we created now. But my Excel freezes when I do that. Miss Beach, you wanted to give it a shot. Let me give you an opportunity to share your screen.
Thank you, sir.
And see if it works on your side.
Let me just prepare my side quickly.
Then we will move on right after that. I think you colleagues will agree with me. You see the theory of what I'm trying to present. And I think it's worked on 3 machines. Mems Pure, did you say it worked on yours as well?
It
didn't work, no? Okay. Do please close your Excel when you get a chance and retry it. Seeing your screen, Miss Beach, and just when I was saying I see your screen, it vanished again. In my language, we say I had not swallowed my words, and then the screen vanished. Are you there, Miss Beach? Where is Mem Felicity? Do we know? Mem Martha is here in spirit. Mem Martha, please greet in the chat if you are hearing us. My screen is now dark. What did you do to my screen? Mem's pure. I blame you.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing.
We are waiting for you to share your screen, ma'am.
Yes, sir. I got kicked out. I'm back in now. Let me quickly do it.
Okay. We didn't see you fall off the screen there.
Oh, okay. There we go. So I'm doing a share screen and it's asking me Microsoft Edge tab. Just want to do a normal screen share. It's not letting me do this, so let me just see.
Same issue, ma'am. Pascalina is battling with in the morning.
Oh, there we go, entire screen.
Yes, that's the one we're looking for, ma'am. We
Okay.
want to see everything, everything.
There's the entire screen. Let me share that. Wait for it to come up. Interesting. I'm clicking it and nothing's happening.
Because ma'am, Pascalina's battling this morning. Please don't tell me Teams has changed something and
There's
now you
something odd
can't
here,
share.
so because even the selection panes are now different.
I don't like Teams sometimes. Well, always. But I think they need to give
No,
us
sir,
training.
it's not sharing. Doesn't matter how many times I'm pressing this button.
Okay, select a Word document. Sorry, your Excel spreadsheet. The keynote I think you might have missed in the morning, Miss Beach, is
Mhm.
the folders, the documents must be in the same folder. So
Mhm.
open a Word document that's in the same direction as the same spreadsheet. So if you open your report cards, look for a Word document that's inside the same folder as the report cards. But for now, just open your Excel spreadsheet and let's show you what we are trying to implement.
Give me a moment, sir. Okay, let's see if it'll do it now. Still doesn't want to open.
So you can share just the window and then we'll take it from there.
Still trying to share just the window. Let me just see that window. Okay, there we go. Window. Let's do. Okay. All right. Is this being seen?
I am seeing Glenn Austin on a Word document.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to challenge you to stop sharing again, ma'am, and share Excel. We know what you are copying here, so you can copy one word, for example, copy application, but we want to see your Excel. Then you will do this in the background as well there.
Okay, now we're gonna.
This thing of
Can you see
sharing
Excel?
screens and changing, not yet.
Okay. Okay. There we go. So now I took one of the sheets that we've worked on before and
Okay, so yeah, let's do it here. So please go to the Word document and copy the word application.
can we do the application for admission? Copy all
Just
of that.
copy one word, admission.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, application, not admission.
There we go. Okay, done. And now we go to a cell and we're going to go paste special.
Yes.
Oops, paste special. And here we're
And
going to select.
now we can't see what you're selecting, but select hyperlink. Select the first one. On the left, you should have a dialog box for paste link. What does it say? Let me go back
Paste
to
link.
my Excel.
Okay, it says paste hyperlink or paste link. Paste the
Let me
actual
see.
link.
Yeah, paste the actual link. Just give me a second.
Paste link, hyperlink.
Oh, now I'm clicking on your screen instead of my screen. Aish, this thing. Right.
Okay.
So you
So
select
now we've
paste
got
special.
this. There we go. And there in our cell, we've got that.
Okay. So now you save. And why is it not putting it in a nice box for you? Did you select paste link? After paste link, what did you select? You just selected
Hyperlink.
OK, I'm assuming. Or hyperlink. Okay.
Yeah.
That is fine. So double click there now, ma'am, please, on application.
Okay,
Double click.
there we go.
Okay,
That's
so
what
it
happens when
opens
I
the
double.
formula for us. Did it open the Word document for you?
No.
It didn't.
No.
Press escape on your keyboard, please.
Escape.
Right. Then click save. So it did create the hyperlink because I'm seeing in the formula bar there, it basically did change that location. But now we need to play with the closing of Excel and opening. So please point at the application again. I'm still not seeing it reflecting it. When you point, try and press Control. Point at it and then press Control. Double click now. And it doesn't open it on your side, right?
Let me just close this document, sir, because that
Yeah.
might be the situation.
And then me and you need to still go through the emotions of enabling the security aspects of things. Please click on File before you close. Yeah, I think maybe we need to start there. Click on File.
File.
Select Options. Bottom left.
Options there at the bottom.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I can't see your screen there. I have to guide you blindly. Look for Trust Center.
Trust Center.
Yeah.
Okay, and the settings there.
And then on your left of Trust Center, you are going to look for Enable.
External contact.
Yes.
And then enable everything.
Yes, please.
And enable dynamic data exchange server launch, not recommended.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Then click OK.
Okay, that's all done.
Then save and close. Double
Okay,
click now. Let's see if it works now. Double click now. Still doesn't work. Okay. Press escape. Right. Close the Excel spreadsheet and reopen it again, please, ma'am.
Okay.
So what that does is it basically allows Excel to go and find the hyperlink, link up to it, and then sort of update the spreadsheet.
Okay, so now it is, can you see my Excel?
No.
Hold on a moment. That clear?
Yes, now we can see your screen.
Okay. Okay, so when I closed it, I've opened it again and it says update. So now I'm going to press update.
Okay.
And this is what
Please
happened.
resolve that issue for us. Basically, double click on the columns at the top. Between B and C, double click there.
Oops.
Press escape on your keyboard. Okay. Between B and C is double
Between
click.
B and C.
Yeah. Expand your column B. Make it wider. Okay, so it's complaining. Click on it. It's complaining. Where is the document saved, ma'am? It is saved in my documents reception.
There we go. Right there, sir. Beach
Okay.
Excel master copy.
Master copy. Okay, click on the exclamation mark. So now it picks up the reference, but it tells us there's an exclamation mark next to the ref, the yellow exclamation mark.
Okay.
And this is part of today's lesson as well, so I'm happy to explore there. But unfortunately, we can't see what the error is. Please take us through what
Okay,
you're
invalid
seeing.
cell reference error. Invalid cell reference error
What
is what it's
options are we
pointing.
getting? Yeah.
Help on this error, show calculation steps, ignore error, edit in formula bar, error checking options.
Because this is a reference to an external link,
Mm.
we won't be able to edit much on it. So I don't know really. And
Let me see the error checking options.
your spreadsheet, where is it saved, ma'am? Is it in the same folder as the Word
Same
document?
folder, sir. Yes, sir.
Same folder.
Yeah. I just went and saved it there.
Just now, I wish I could see. I wish I could see your full screen, really. Okay.
Yeah. Even the calculation options opens up a lot of options.
Yeah.
that I
Well,
don't know what's going on.
yeah, those options will probably not work because it's looking for this thing and it's an external link.
Hmm.
Boom, 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 boom,
Okay,
boom.
stop sharing. We'll have to find out why is this.
Okay, I'm not happy with that one. I'm not happy with that one. All right. I'm going to share my screen again. Thank you, Miss Peach. I think you will agree with me. You basically see the theory aspect of it, and that's one of the reasons I say next week in our session, perhaps, or I will need an extra session where we sort of fight with these issues and figure out why they keep affecting us. But I want us to move on to this particular one, and I'm going to rely on you guys on this one. Can we sort this list in alphabetical order? How do I sort this list in alphabetical order?
So you first have to select the sections that you want to sort.
Okay.
The entire table. So you have to select first the sections that you want to sort from B3 to F6. You need to select B3.
Okay.
B3 to F6. You could actually do
Oh, to
B2 from
F6, sorry,
B2 as well. Let's take it
from
from B2,
B2.
sir. Yeah, let's take it from
Okay.
B2 and take it down to F6.
F6, there.
There we go. And then you go to the sort and filter on the right,
On the right.
the
Which
top
group?
right ribbon in the editing.
Editing group. Okay.
There we go.
That's the group, sort and filter.
There we go. If you can press that, the sort
Okay.
and filter. And then you go down to custom sort. Well, that is if we want a custom sort. Otherwise, we can just go to sort. Sorry, sir. Let's close that one rather.
Okay.
And let's
Editing
just go to
group.
the editing group, sort and filter again. And then the first thing that we want to know is, do we want to sort it A to Z? So let's select there.
A to Z. Okay.
Let me just see if I've got my lowest to highest. Okay, and it just automatically went and took the, understood that there was a top line and that the top line was our categories, and it went and automatically took the first column and sorted the first column.
100%.
B.
I'm happy with that. And this is where I want to catch you, colleagues. And I've selected a small set of data here, but I want us to check. So let's use South because we live in South Africa, right? Let's check. I'm going to click undo. Do you see the values that this particular South has after the sort? I'm going to click undo, and I want us to compare that with the before. Am I making sense? Because you don't want to sort your data and then find that South now has marks from West. What do we call that trick? Data consistency. Correct? Colleagues, are you copying? So you don't want to sort and then your data is scrambled up.
So is that called data consistency, sir?
Data consistency. You want to sort and your data must remain consistent. So I'm going to click undo now and see. Check the values for South. I want us to make sure they are the same before the sort. Do you think they're the same? Are you convinced they're the same?
All good, sir.
We're happy, right? I'm happy. And by the way, because I took a screenshot, we can verify our sort as well based on that. So this could be a simple sort for you, colleagues, but the important thing that I'm highlighting is whatever you do in Excel, you mustn't lose the consistency of the data. You mustn't lose the consistency of the data.
Victor, if I may, how did you end up taking a screenshot of just that section?
That's a simple one. So I simply pressed the screenshot button on my screen and it became grayed out. I think you guys started seeing some gray. Then I select the area I wanted to pick up, right? And this is
Yay,
the
thank you, sir.
screenshot. Yeah, so that's an easy one to answer. A very easy one. Happy to assist quickly on that one. So
Thank you, sir.
earlier you'll notice what I had done is I highlighted the line I wanted to take a screenshot of, and then I took my screenshot thereafter. So it came with the highlight to say, this is what I'm trying to highlight for my fair ladies here.
You just saved me a
There.
lot of time. Thank you, sir.
I know these screenshots, they come in handy, especially for us in the IT field here. We just say, take a screenshot and we know what the issue is immediately. So the difference between the two screenshots is on this one, I had not selected the line, the row of data, but on the second one I did. So I was fighting over consistency, making sure that whatever you do before and after the sort, you have the same correct data. So the consistency term, we can use it to simplify it. We can say correctness of the data. Right. Now, colleagues, other aspects that you will see, you will be assessed on, right, will be deleting a tab. So I did say earlier, we know how to insert a tab, we know how to rename a tab, color a tab, and all of those things. But the other aspect that I want to introduce here, and I did say earlier that I want to do that, right? I want to sort of add a sheet, and let me see. Let me bring on another sheet here. Give me a second. I'm going to bring this sheet to here and wish me luck. Going to say new sheet. Wish me luck, colleagues. Wish me luck. Protect sheet. Insert. Right, a worksheet. And I hope you are following, right? A worksheet. And what I'm trying to get to here is I want to find a spreadsheet that is somewhat specific. Okay, I don't have a budget here. Do I have a budget? There's a report, there's expense reports and that. Okay, it's fine. It still serves the same purpose, right? So what I wanted to show you here was you are able to sort of insert the worksheets. The long route of it is that, right? So now I've got 3 sheets. So other aspects that you are going to look at and see here is then you need to be able to move these sheets around. So you'll see now sheet 1, sheet 3, sheet 2. So I'm able to move sheet 1 to there, and I'm able to move sheet A when a sheet 1 come to the end. Okay, it doesn't move in that fashion. I can move or copy it like that, and I want to move it to end. So I click to end, then it goes to the end. And I think we did this last week. It was a quicker version of this, but we did it in that fashion. So I'm going to also then move this sheet to another workbook. And that's the one trick that I think you guys will find interesting. So I've got, if you look at my sheet 1, it's speaking of regions and quarter 1 until quarter 4, right? And the title of my spreadsheet now is const 1. Right? And I'm going to move it to cons 2. So I'm going to move this. And I think what I want to do is open the cons 2. For now, I've got, I can move it to GHAS, Glen Austin High School. So you'll see here, it's telling me workbooks that are open that I can move this to. And I can move it to there. And then it tells me, where do you want to move this table? I want to move it to the end of that particular spreadsheet. Now, if you look here, colleagues, as well, I can create a copy. So if I want to keep sheet 1 here, I can. But in my scenario, I want to move it completely. So I'm going to click OK. Now, my sheet has moved. Do you remember this spreadsheet? It is this one that has employees budget. We changed colors in the morning. Do you remember this spreadsheet, colleagues? I have added another spreadsheet, and this spreadsheet comes from a different, I've added a worksheet, and this worksheet comes from a different spreadsheet altogether. Now I can rename this spreadsheet here and I can call it cons1. I keep using the wrong English, worksheet. So I'm going to call this cons1. And then we didn't use company text tables. Well, we tried, but we didn't do much on it. I'm now going to move it and create a duplicate. Move or copy. Then I'm going to say move to cons1, and I'm going to say create a copy. But before I do that, let's go to cons1, or we don't have to actually. In cons1, I want to see if we still have sheet 1. So I'm going to click OK here. And you'll see, what did I do now? Did I select a new spreadsheet? I did not. So let me move this. I'm going to delete this tab sheet. Now I'm showing you how to delete a sheet. I didn't select a spreadsheet there. So this thing was created on the same spreadsheet. I want to move this to another workbook altogether. I want to move it to a different workbook. Do you remember cons1? That's the workbook. And I want to move it to the end. So that workbook shouldn't have sheet 1 because you move sheet 1 to here. But this time around, I don't want to move it permanently. I want to create a copy. So I click create a copy. Now I'm in cons1. If you look at my title bar there, and I've got no sheet 1. Instead, I've got company text tables. So the sheet 1 that was here is now in Glen Austin High School. Here it is. This is the data we were sorting just now. Complicated but easy, ne? I'm not sure whether the is like good or bad. Is it an H, ma'am, or is it an or is it a what do you fall, ma'am? Okay. So the other aspect I want to show you is I can simply select, and unfortunately here, I'm going to be caught red-handed with the colors that we've selected. I've selected 2 worksheets, and I am able to sort of work on them as grouped. Do you see now? Because of my selection together, those 2 sheets are grouped. So you'll notice I'm able to work on them in that fashion there. And I can ungroup them as well so that they are not sort of seen as an item. So these 2 are currently Njolo, and you will see that by finding that they are grouped there. I pressed Control on my keyboard and it grouped them automatically. So now when I work on them, I can work on them as a group. The Control key is the master there. Okay. I'm quickly going through the items that I feel are quite easy. Excuse me. And as well, I think some of these aspects, I might not be sure at this stage when you would want to use them in your scenario. But that's why I say, give me your spreadsheets. Let me see what you do and make this training relevant to you as well, where you sit there. I want to stop for a second or 30 seconds and ask if you've got any questions for me.
So could you go back to that other sheet? Because we just want to verify that it actually did do that. We just want to
Which
see
one?
it. The other workbook.
Okay. GAHS. Or is it cons1? What do you want to confirm, ma'am? That
If you
it
can go to
the sheet.
Because what's confused, I thought we were copying cons1, but now I've ended up copying the company tax tables.
Okay, let's do it again. It's an easy one. So I'm going to write here. Refilwe has another name. Okay, let's call Refilwe Fifi. So you'll see this is on sheet 2. And do you want to keep a copy, ma'am, or do you want to move it permanently? Miss Peach?
Apologies, sir. I was called for by the principal.
Okay. So you want to test which theory? We are currently in a spreadsheet called Cons 1. We are on sheet 2. Do we agree?
Yes, sir.
What do you want us to do? Do you want to move sheet 2 to GAHS permanently, or
I
do you want
must
to create a
WhatsApp me.
duplicate? Do you see me clicking? So I select that workbook, and now sheet 2 must move. Do you want it to move permanently, or do you want a copy, ma'am? Ma'am Spue, please make a decision from Miss Peach. Pascalina
Sorry,
is
Mr.
dying.
Ma'am Pascalina was saying she's dying. Yes, she said I must tell you that she's dying. Mr. X, let's move to the end. I think that's what you said.
Do you want to move it permanently, or do you want to create a copy, ma'am?
Let's move it permanently.
Okay, so we're not creating a copy. So what we are testing is sheet 2 must not exist in this spreadsheet, and it must only exist in GAHS. So I'm going to click OK, and sheet 2 must vanish. It must exist now in GAHS, and it must not exist now in Cons 1. Do you see sheet 2 here? It is gone.
Anymore.
Now, Miss Beach has been interrupted. She wanted to test this theory and make sure that it works. Okay, colleagues, I'm waiting for your questions. Okay, let me complicate your life. I'm going to complicate your life a little bit more. So, this is what I'm going to do today. Ma'am Spew, take a deep breath, ma'am. Unfortunately, Ma'am Spew, you represent the whole office there. Pasky, you must get that thing that we used to get in COVID days. Ma'am Spew, what was that oil that we were saying hails COVID? What was it called?
Eucalyptus oil.
Must get the Capticalitas oil, Ma'am Pasky, right? But before you die, catch this one. Pascalina, look at my screen. This is company tax table, and company tax table is empty. Pasky, do you see?
Yes, sir.
I press equal sign. Do you see that? I'm currently on Cons 1. Then I go to a different workbook, GAHS, and I fetch the company tax table data. Or let's fetch the employee's budget. And I fetch alles of this. Then I press enter. Now, all the data that was that side has magically come to Cons 1. Ma'am Spue took a deep breath. You didn't get it, Ma'am Pasky.
What do you mean I didn't get it, Mr. X?
What did I just do, ma'am?
You went and took that data from the company cons.
Okay, see, going to do it again.
Cons 1.
Go with me, ma'am. Going to do it again. So basically, the English says, I went to a different spreadsheet and fetched data from there and imported it to this side, to this other worksheet. So all along, we've been doing it in the same spreadsheet. But now I've done it between two spreadsheets. I didn't copy and paste, by the way. So to prove my point, you will see here, do you see this second line has 25 and zeros? And this is the spreadsheet cons 1. I go to Glen Austin High School, a different spreadsheet, where I am getting the data under employee data. And the 25 is in this row. Where is the 25? Where is that 25 with many zeros? I think it is this one. Where is the 25? What cell is it? I'm trying to find the 25 that I found that side. With the many zeros. Where is it?
Not there.
Okay, nonetheless,
not
let's update these zeros now. I'm going to put 15, 25, 75, and 95. Those are Nelson Mandela's ages. I hope I'm updating the right row because I didn't check. So I go back to cons 1 and I'm hoping to find the data has been updated there. This data is not the same. Where are my 95? Do you see the 95 here? This is where I was
Yes, I'm
updating
seeing it.
15, 25, 75, 95. So I selected the wrong row. There I should be selecting, what column is that? F5 until K12. Am I right? Let me go back that side. Do you see what I did there, Pascalina? F5. So it says F5 is the
F5.
2007. Do you see there? 2007.
Yes.
And then it should be F6. So I'm looking for, I'm just duplicating the same example now. So this is F6. I'm looking for, come on, give me the right reference for this line. It takes the whole line until it looks that side and refer it this side. So I'm trying to map it. I want to believe it will be 2 lines below the 2007. So it will be this line that I'm looking to update, right? The zeros are here. So I'm going to write my name here. And I'm going to write Pasky here. And I'm going to write Nreti here. Then I'm going to write Feli here. And then I'm going to write Fifi here. Right. And I want to see where those details are going in on the other spreadsheet this side. Did you see that, Timmy?
Yes, sir.
That is not very convincing, eh?
Yes, but we saw what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
I need
And
to
Pasky is dying. And Pasky is dying, dead. Okay. Mem Pasky says she sees what I did here, so I'm going to assume all of us saw what I did there. Mem Spirit.
Yes, sir.
You haven't shouted at me. I'm assuming.
So this one is difficult.
And this one is the first one on the assessment, and it only gets more difficult.
Yeah.
Ask a question, Mem Spirit.
So you're going to judge me.
That's what I want. It's my job. Okay. So again, if you look at what I've selected here, it tells me you've got data from outside. And I look at the formula bar. And I'm going to emphasize this here because some of you would have gotten 100% for the assessment, but I was not seeing your formula bars. So you got 0 for some questions.
Yeah.
How many people are in my class, by the way? Mem Felicity is not here. Did you get your feedback?
I'm here, sir.
Okay. This is why you got a 0, Mem Felicity. I could not see your formula bars.
Spiwe, behave.
Okay. I'm kidding. You didn't get a 0, ma'am. I haven't started marking your assessment. So what I'm illustrating, colleagues, is you've got to always make sure you observe what is in the formula bar. It will always be the master. When I mark, I look at the formula bars. It might be beautiful to see what you've got on your numbers and your cells, but I'm looking and I'm interested in the formula bar most importantly, because that's what tells me you've got the right formula there. In this case, I'm highlighting that the spreadsheet that's currently open is cons 1. Do you see that?
Yes.
And this spreadsheet is opening Glen Austin High School spreadsheet. Opening Glen Austin High School spreadsheet, it is on the employee budget tab. And it is looking at cells F5 all the way to K12. So let's go back and check if I am correct. Glen Austin High School, the name of the spreadsheet. There are 4 tabs here, but it says it's looking at the employees budget. Then the cell was F5, starting there, and that cell goes until K12 there. So basically, it is all of this data until there. If I was a pastor, I would be saying, please say amen.
Yo, Kusem.
Yeah, ziyakhala ke manje.
Kwami.
For when?
Ma'am Felicity, do you know why it's color? Ma'am Feli?
Hi, sir.
Do you know why it's crying?
Crying.
Yes, ziyakhala.
Ziyakhala, sir.
Do you know why it's color, ma'am?
Yeah, why, sir?
Because ma'am's poop is a verification report you're advertising. Akekho nala class yini.
No.
Othola uziro, no?
Uphethe 0 nje ukhicita liqanza nje urola neliqanza.
Minus.
All right. Then last week we spoke about name ranges, and this is where I stop talking and I expect you guys to chip in. How do I create a name range? How do I create a name range? I showed you this last week, colleagues. I want to create a name range for a couple of cells. For these cells, I want to call them North, South, West, and East. How do I create a name range? And this is where I sit and I go make a cup of coffee whilst I wait. Name ranges. We discussed them last week. Do you remember?
Ish, sir. I needed to watch that video still.
And I'm not telling you today. See, now I'm not telling you. I sit and I put my feet up. And I paint a picture for you now because this is the afternoon. I'm no longer drinking coffee now. I'm drinking some nice champagne because, you know, I don't drink soda drinks. And this, I drink champagne for 3,000 Rand a bottle. So now my feet are up and I'm drinking my shampoo, refreshing, whilst I wait for the answer from you guys.
Yeah.
Ma'am Spew, do you know how I know you're not here? Your mouse, when you click, I can hear it.
Then I gave my mouse to Ma'am Pascaline.
Oh, lo. Ma'am Pascalina, now they're saying you are the one clicking.
You are not.
Who are you? You're just sleeping there when I'm Ma'am Pascaline. And you're dying in peace. Name ranges, colleagues. I'm waiting for an answer. I am not moving until you give me an answer. How do I create name ranges? And if you don't answer me, I move on to the next difficult topic and leave you alone. Then I ask name ranges only in the assessment. Silence in court.
Name ranges, guys. Name ranges, what's that? Name ranges. You did it last week.
I see a man. He said,
When you give a cell a name. Mr. X, Mem Fifi wants to try.
I can hear she's shouting an answer. I'm waiting, ma'am.
She says, is it not when you give a cell a number, a name, I mean?
It is.
oh,
Yay.
wow, that was a guess. No, I wasn't sure.
Someone was paying attention last week.
How do I create it now? Next step.
Mem Fifi, how do you do that? What you have to do that?
The second sheet, and then you type it. And then this will really come like when you
I don't remember.
yeah, but he's talking about that. Yeah, cool.
Kuluma, Mr. X wants to move on to the next topic.
No, because I'm a nice guy. I'm showing you how functions work now. You see, I've moved on already. Do you know how they calculate your loan?
Hello, no.
How many of you have a, okay, sorry, wrong question. How many of you don't have a loan?
It's
Who
me.
says, yeah, I don't have a loan? Can you raise your hand?
Alone, my hand is raised. So.
Yeah, your hand is raised when I'm Mspiwe. Thank you. So you owe me now, Mspiwe. I'm just trying to figure out how much you owe me. But let's say you owe me, I borrowed you 10,000. So now you owe me 10,000. The interest rate on your loan is 12,000. Sorry, 12%. And you must pay me over 12 months. And I'm introducing something I've spoken about as well. Internal Excel functions. So there's a function called PMT. Can you see my screen? What does it calculate?
Can I read it, sir? Can I read it?
Go ahead, ma'am.
Calculates the payment for a loan based on constant payments and a constant interest rate. I have no idea what that means, sir.
Okay, so it basically is a financial calculation, and of course, I don't blame us. We're not in a financial department or a loan company or a bank or a financial institution rather. But this is how they calculate the loans that we take. You buy a car, they use these functions, right? You see the list of functions that we've got there. So we've got this one, and I'm going to put, it's got a when I come here. Sorry, colleagues. Now, this PMT returns the cumulative interest paid over 2 periods, right? Then I want to focus on the simple one, which is your PMT, this function here. it's most likely the one that they use consistently for calculating our loan term. So I'm going to double click it, and then it opens a bracket. What do I need for this one? I need a rate, I need a term, right? And then I need also that the number of, well, the term is the number of years. I need the interest rate as well. So the rate currently, if we agree, I'm going to select this particular cell here. Right? Do you see that? And then what do I use in between? I've selected the rate. Oh, sorry, I've selected the wrong rate. I want to select the rate, which is this one.
So we're dealing with simple interest, sir, not compound interest.
Yes, we're dealing with simple interest here.
Thank you, sir.
Right? And then you will see here, basically, it's asking for the N per, right? And that will be the number of terms that I'm paying this particular loan. So I'm going to select a semicolon, and then I'm going to select that particular. Hey, when I select one cell, not two cells, I want to select one. Oh, sorry, my mistake. I put in a semicolon, and then it's got a J. I put in a full colon rather, not a semicolon. So now it's expecting something else. Do you see that? So I'm giving this formula what it's asking for. Semicolon. Why is it not telling me what it wants next? Oh, it does. So the amount that I'm looking to pay back is this one. And if I've done this right, it must give me how much I must then repay. I press enter. So per month, if I'm to pay back 10,000, I must pay 1,614 and 37 cents. What am I introducing to you, colleagues, here? I'm emphasizing the issue of using internal Excel controls, tools, and formulas or functions. And currently, I am jumping one step into functions intentionally so that I emphasize the fact that you don't need to be doing these calculations yourself. The same way you can have your budget on Excel and use these features to calculate your budget. I'll set an example. You can create a list of items you buy every month or consistently every month, and you can keep updating it and look at the full picture here. You can have a budget, a sheet for January, a sheet for February, a sheet for March, a sheet for April, all the way until December. And you can keep changing your spreadsheet. So for example, where is my cons one? I think this is where we are. You can keep changing what goes into each month. So if this month you want to spend 2,000 in groceries, you put in 2,000 in groceries. If you know you're going home in June, you can put in 2,000 as an expense for June for traveling home. Your salary will always be the same. So you can have an income tab. I know that MEMS-PUE, for example, because I am friends with HR, MEMS-PUE ends 34,700 and 820. MEMS-PUE salary, this one, right?
Nice one, Simpy.
MEMS-PUE is rich.
Good
It's
one.
just that she's a humble person, Shem. She's very humble, MEMS-PUE. She doesn't like showing off, but she ends nicely there. So if you look at what we've got, then my spelling is also incorrect for income. Colleagues, why are you not telling me that my spellings are wrong? So MEMS-PUE ends 37,820 Rand 70 cents, right? So every month, then you start drawing down on your expenses, and eventually at the bottom, so for example, she owes me 10,000 Rand and she's paying me, and I'm going to fetch that data from there because that's important. That's how much she pays me for groceries. How much are you paying at Crash there by Glenostin, MEMS-PUE, for your two children that you don't know?
I'm paying 4.5, sir.
4,500 for the two children she has. And then how much are you buying for groceries? I know you like food from Woolworths, so she buys food for 5,000. Then for petrol on her Mercedes, she's paying 2.5. per month on petrol. So if you look at these figures, every month she can easily estimate how much she has left in her bank account without even going through the expenses. And Excel will assist you in sort of deducting these figures as you go all the way down to the balance or whatever amount you're looking to calculate there. And when I click there, for example, I'm clicking and my spreadsheet doesn't want to click. So after her expenditures, this is how much Memspue is left with. So this is the money she uses to buy the Swazi hair that she wears. She doesn't like Brazilian because she doesn't know people from Brazil. So she uses Swazi hair, Swazi nails, and Zimbabwean nails and stuff like that. She likes the fashion from Mozambique. So this is what she spends per month on those things, entertainment and that.
There we go. So did we put those minuses manually?
I did put in the minuses manually, yes.
Okay.
Yes. What am I illustrating? There's functions, there's formulas, and you can basically put in a template that you can use instead of drawing up the budget afresh every month. And I know I'm speaking to ladies. Those groceries that you write a paper and you lose the paper, bring it to Excel. Now your shopping list will start taking shape. You write here, Miss Beach, what do you buy every month? Italian rice.
Indeed, sir.
What else do you write, ma'am? Sushi.
Nuts. Macadamia nuts.
I don't know how to spell
Sushi, yes.
macadamia.
Wow, you know me well, sir. You already know me. Sushi's on the list.
Right, and then now I know you eat nyama yenhloko, so I'll write cow toes and that. So your list that you buy every month can be imported to a spreadsheet, and you can add and remove each month as you plan. And this can give you estimates, because I know, for instance, Mem Refilio buys at ShopRite, Shem. They buy there. Where is that place, Mem's Pure, that I don't go to? I don't do Tembisa and such places, you know, myself. There is Calfontaine. Yes, that's the word I'm looking. And I've never been to Calfontaine, colleagues. Personally, I don't go those places. I don't like to see places where there's ShopRite, me. And I don't eat kotas. So Memory Filler buys there at ShopRite. And yeah. So you have your list, and every time you go to ShopRite, you've got your budget and you are well prepared, and you've calculated using your monthly budget. And again, I repeat, what are we trying to avoid? We're trying to avoid over and over again doing the same thing. I hope I'm making sense, colleagues. I hope I'm making sense. Any questions for me?
Yeah.
No questions. All right. I'm going to move on along. So we've done the pay special, right? And I want to challenge you as well. Notice how I moved on from number ranges. I want to believe you guys have picked up number ranges. Memory Phil, please show them name ranges.
Eish. Like I'm blank.
And then Mama took the one about because she can't see.
So what is name ranges used for?
Memory Phil, answer the question.
Remember. Memory feel.
Okay, let's say, for instance, Ricardo, right? So the and then more from Shikran to Shikran.
We're giving the
So
committee some time.
Ricardo
They're deliberating before they answer.
They're answering you, ma'am, but they're still brainstorming the answer between the two of them.
They are indeed, see, between the four of them, sir, I believe. They all forced it together.
Now they are trying, and yeah, now translate it to English, memory feel.
Now I remember that I didn't get this part last week.
Funny stories, right? All right. Now, Miss Beach, you'll forgive me, but I'm leaving you alone on this one because it was last week's topic.
No problem,
But
sir.
I will ask it 15 times in the assessment because now I know there is a gap. So I'll ask it 15 times in that assessment of mine.
Assessment.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you something very interesting, and I hope you guys are able to sort of work with me here. It's along the same lines of sorting and filtering. Boom. Now I want to show only north and south. I filter and I remove east and west, and my data vanishes. Do you see that,
Too
colleagues?
fast. No.
Right. Filtering. For me to see what I want to see, I want to see certain data and not all my data. I'm going to clear the filter on the region. Currently, there is no filter, right? I select my data. I select sort and filter. I choose filter. And on the filtering, what you will notice is it then sort of puts in these arrows next to my text. I can select what I want to see there. If they are blanks, I don't want to see them. Remove blanks, right? And then I can also go ahead and look at something that is greater than a certain value. Is greater than, I'm trying to think what numbers are there, by the way. Let's say it's anything greater than 270. 270, and I'm going to click OK. So all the values in this particular data that are less than 270 disappear. Particularly looking at quarter one. So the data that are filtered, you will see, impacts the rest of my data. Quarter three is impacted. The other fields, southwest and, well, it's west and north that have vanished because of my filter. How do I remove a filter? And by the way, this is how we sort of get caught a lot of times. Consistently, we use these filters to hide data, to show data, and things like those. So the data might be on the spreadsheet, but filtered out. Moving right along. So that's how the filter story works. What is the benefit of the filter story? The filter allows you to sort of, instead of selecting and deleting data one by one, you use the filter story to say, this data does not need to be shown at this stage, and I can filter it out. Mems Pooh has answered the phone call. Now I'm left alone.
I'm back, sir.
I hope it was not finance saying salaries will be delayed. Who was it, ma'am? Mems Pooh is like, X, I'm not telling you who was calling me.
It was Memphis.
Okay, colleagues, I know I'm moving very quickly, but I want to stop again and check on you guys. How are you coping? Are you hanging in there?
Hi.
So if I can ask, could we just on
Yes,
the
ma'am.
Excel spreadsheet just cover the topics, just type the topics that we covered today, so that we can make sure that we've reviewed those particular topics.
Okay, so you'll recall that's what I was saying. I was linking earlier with our previous sessions, right? So we've done a bit of sorting, We've done a bit of filtering, and I'm going backwards, right? And then we've worked with multiple sheets. We've also worked now with sheets themselves. So for example, if you've got a sheet that you want to delete, we know how to do that. A sheet we want to rename, we know how to do that. A sheet we want to change color, we know how to do that. So all of those aspects are what we've done between the previous session and today. We've also worked with hyperlinks. So on Mem Pascalina's spreadsheet, we saw a hyperlink to the internet. On my data, we were hyperlinking to a Word document, and we said the key for that one is it must be saved in the same folder. Did I miss anything, colleagues? We've also done number ranges, by the way, and we did them in the last session. So in the next session, again, I'm going to ask about name ranges. I'm going to decide what else I want to ask about. And I suspect it will be that hyperlink. I feel like next week I must ask about that hyperlink. Ms. Beach, am I responding sufficiently to your question?
Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated.
Okay. Now, I want to challenge you, colleagues. Of course, I note that it's been a long day and I've been screaming in your ears for the whole day. You probably are irritated now by this very nasty voice. And I should borrow a voice from Beyonce. Mem Spew, I saw you've got connections with Mem Beyonce. If you can borrow the voice there so I can maybe not be tiring. Okay. Now, I'm trying to decide whether to give you homework or to sort of start arranging for an extra session. By default, I know that we need an extra session. I think I knew that even before I came to the session here. Okay, but nonetheless, let me do something different for now. So colleagues, I want to fetch data from a node file, and I'm importing data from outside. MemSpure might find this to be helpful. So I've got two cons files here, right? And let me see which one we've got on our screen now. Okay, doesn't look like it matters. I've got none. All right, so I want to extract cons, which one is open? Cons 1. Okay, maybe let's extract cons 1. I want to show you what happens. Where is my data for this cons story? Oh, sheet 1 we moved, ne? Okay, so let's say we want to extract this data to a node file. How do you colleagues suggest we possibly can do that? How do you colleagues suggest we can do that? Okay, so I've got a suggestion for you. For starters, to get this data into a text file, I can save it as a text file. So I'm going to select browse. It's an easy one. We've done the saving as quite a few times already, right? So if you look at what I'm working on here, you will see I've got a text file somewhere here. Can you guys help me find it? Where is my text file? I want a simple text file. There you go. Do you see what I did there? It's an easy one, right? Colleagues, did you see that? Oh, lo. Where are you, colleagues, now? Come back, come back, come back. I'm going to save it in my spreadsheet, and I'm going to call it cons1, and I'm going to say text file, right? And I'm going to click save. You see my message here? Firstly, multiple sheets are not allowed. So you save only the active sheet. If you want to save multiple sheets, you must do so individually. Colleagues, am I making any sense at all? I understand the message, so I click OK.
I said, the brain is tired.
So our brain froze.
Brain.
Brain freezing. Okay, so this is the last concept I'm going to introduce, colleagues, and then I'll let you go, don't worry. So if you look at what we've done, we've saved that particular spreadsheet as a text file, right? And I'm waiting for it to open up. Oh, it opened up actually, but it opened up on my side. Okay, here it is. I was waiting here, trying to figure out where is it. So the spreadsheet that we had, do you remember where we wrote in reti there? And fei. Do you remember that was a spreadsheet, right? Now it is on a text file. Now, the important aspect is not necessarily that one, but the last concept I want to introduce to you, tired ladies, is how do I bring that note file into my spreadsheet now? And I want to introduce the data tab. Get data from a file. You'll see here, you can get data from a database, from Azure, from many other sources. If you're advanced, you can get it from any of these databases. I think you guys are familiar with MS Access, right? So you can import data from an Access database file into your spreadsheet. The rest, in my opinion, might be too complicated, but I might not know your skill levels. Then you'll notice I've got from text. Do you see that one there? That's the one we just created now. And this is the last concept for the day. So I've clicked get that from a text file. It's probably going to ask me, where are you getting this text file? Where is it? What type of file is it? Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. Right? We know where we saved our text file. There it is. Then it says import. I import. Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. So it's going to that file, says there clearly. This is the tell me more screen. So it says, tell me about that file. Is that file delimited? When you say delimited, we're saying, how are the columns created? Is it by comma, or is it by tab, or is it by comma? How are they delimited? Then you'll realize it selects tab by default, but you've got other options here. In our case, we know that it's by tab because we created it just now, right? And then if you want to transform the data, let's see what that button does. So basically the data sits in this file, in this format, right? And then when you transform it on Excel, now why does it look so small now? Okay, so it's transforming the data and it's sort of making it somewhat usable data, right? You'll see now it looks at the data and it's sort of edited it. It looks somewhat nice from what I see. Are you seeing my screen? I'm happy with that. I'm just not seeing my next button. I should have an OK button there, but I'm not seeing it. Where is my OK button? I'm happy with the data. This is a preview, right? So I think I can close this preview. So when you transform the data, it's telling me, I want to keep. So I'm waiting for it to bring the data here, but I didn't see my OK button. So I'm hoping it will bring it on board. Yes, so I kept it and there it is. So my data now is brought in, but the feature that I was bringing up front is it comes in, you'll see there, it pretends as if it knows the data already. Comes in, puts it in a fancy table for us. comes in and it sort of allows us to filter. Do you remember these arrows from filtering? Now I'm talking all alone. Ooh, I must end this session. Right. So all the data that was in that node file has now been brought onto Excel in this fashion. So instead of us seeing simple text like that, we are now seeing data that is editable and looking somewhat fancy. But the data is still the same. 2007 starts there and then there's a 0 there. So I'm assuming anything in between is still exactly the same. I will not say anything else before you colleagues hate my class, go and never come back. So I'm going to even stop sharing here and now. I do want to take questions, but maybe let me not say questions now. Let me say, what are your inputs so far?
Sir? So we
Yes, ma'am.
basically dealt here with import and export of data.
Correct. That was the last concept I introduced just now.
Thank you, sir.
We took the file from Excel, we exported it to a notepad, and then we brought it back onto Excel via data import. And that's where we'll pick it up again next week. So I will probably ask you, how do you bring in data in a text file? How do you import it into Excel? We'll pick it up from there next week. Comments, questions, or not questions? If I say questions, you'll not say anything. Comments, queries, complaints? I heard that.
So when are we meeting next? When are we meeting at the boardroom?
Well, do you recommend we meet next week?
Please, sir.
Okay.
For the next session.
Okay.
Strongly recommended.
Okay. I will pick it up with HR and I will let you know. I will
Thank
pick
you,
it
sir.
up
That'll
with HR
really,
and I will
really,
let you know.
the amount of focus, concentration, and capacity that we then have when we're together is far faster and more intense than on doing the online at work.
Yeah. I think it bothers me even worse because I'm the one that has to speak alone here, and you guys are sort of trying to deal with phone calls, emails, and the likes, reports. Ma'am Felicity is dealing with the deputy principal's salary.
Yeah.
Very much the case, sir.
Okay. Ladies, any other queries, questions, concerns, inputs, outputs for me?
So what will we be covering next week?
Now you got me there. Now you got me there. Let me quickly go through my notes. Give me a second.
Thank you, sir.
So we'll take it off from importing the data from an external source, right? We'll complexify that topic a little bit further. And then I think we've done the converting of a file into a notepad, but it will be part of the conversation still next week. We'll create forms next week. So one of the things Ms. Pure battles with as well on the spreadsheet she shared, I will recommend she puts in drop-down arrows and that. I'll try and give her some ideas around that next week. We'll use find and replace next week. We'll remove rows, we'll remove columns. We'll do some more calculations, totals, subtotals, and things like those. And if we're meeting in person, it will be a bit of a rougher session than today because these topics are many. They are small, but they are many, and they should all build up our skills in how we use Excel. So we'll also take it deeper into functions and calculations. How do you calculate an average? How do you calculate other sorts of functions and such things? Then there's a function called the lookup function. It's what I wanted to give you as homework, but we'll then deal with it next week, especially if we are meeting in person. It would be nice to stress you guys and see you lose weight because of all the functions and the mathematics we'll be doing next week. Aspects I'm not going to cover, colleagues, are your quick access toolbar. You know where to find undo now by now. And then we'll do some charts as well next week. I think, if I'm recalling correctly, my notes are not yet complete, but that's the direction we are taking in the next session. Different types of charts. We'll do more pivot tables. Oh yes, another thing that we've done in both last session and today's session are pivot tables. So we'll do more on pivot charts and tables next week. So it will be an interesting session, in my opinion, there. An interesting session, in my opinion, there. Pivot tables are for analyzing your data and giving you quick answers. Quick answers. Okay. I want to close the session abruptly right here, right now, and say thank you for bearing with me and my ugly voice. Let's hope, colleagues, you don't collapse of headaches. Have a good evening. We meet again next week.
Thank you very much. So much appreciated. I think on behalf of all the group, the whole group, we really appreciate the effort and and also how light you make our, light and fun you make our training sessions as well, and how patient you are with answering and going through and over things again. Thank you very much for that, sir.
It is a pleasure. And I think with those words, I'll also say thank you. I think it's nice to train colleagues that are trying. So you guys are here. I see the effort and the attempts, regardless of all the interruptions and difficulties. So it's all a pleasure. It's all a pleasure.
Thank you very much, sir.
Drive safe going home. And please do work from home like us. You see, when you put in your new career plans, work from home. See, not driving. Not driving. Memata? Cheers. Memonde. Cheers.
Mr. X,
Mem Pascaline.
I
Yes, Mem
will
Pascaline.
say
Yes,
next
yes.
Tuesday is a
Yes, ma'am.
holiday. So I hear you guys are going on about the next session being on the 24th. But it's a public holiday. Heritage Day, Pride Day.
How?
Yeah, but
Oh. So it means we must make it at your house, Mem Pascaline, and you must have a braai for us.
no, please. May I not be bothered?
Okay.
And the
Are we
schools are
taking it to
closed.
Miss Beach's house? But Miss Beach,
Yeah.
I don't trust Miss Beach. She eats the toes of a cow. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. What do you colleagues recommend? Should we move it to Wednesday or should we move it to Thursday? What do you recommend?
Mm.
People with
So-
leave. Hey, Bana. Okay.
Yes.
So
And I don't want to miss class, so let's just do it.
Imagine.
When Spirit comes back from leave.
And then
Oh, we do it when Mem P where the boss lady comes back from leave.
Monday is also
Wow.
away.
Okay. No, then I think it is agreed, colleagues. We will meet the following week. Thank you, Mem Spear, for showing us that you've got leave days that we don't have. It's fine.
Why am I not being thanked? Because I'm the one that brought this up.
Thank you, Mem Pascalina. You ruined my week. I was looking forward to next week and grilling you guys in the boardroom.
Yeah.
Ah.
Now you've ruined my life. who am I going to grill next week when you're not here? I
sir.
prepare for you guys. I sit here and I think, how am I going to grill Refill?
No, sir.
Right. Thank you, ma'am. Pascalina. It means we skip next week and we meet the following week. Agreed.
Yes, sir.
Please do